Most heroic attack. My mini Town Hall 10 against this basically max Town Hall 12, 2-star hit, 2 wars in a row. Check it out. G'day folks, Spackman here. If you can, subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, and like the video. Would appreciate it. Now today we're going to have a look at some attacks from a couple of the previous wars before we lose them. We've got about half an hour to get this one in, this video done and recorded. It's videos of yours truly on mainly my Town Hall 10, but also one of the 12v12 attacks. And both wars, my Town Hall 10 had the most heroic attacks. So featuring two 10v12 triples on a quadrant type base. And then we'll also do one of my hits, which we'll start off with, which was a fresh hit, of course. And wrong one. And was a 12v12, but I had no heroes. And which one was it? There we go. 88%. 88%. So blew me away with how much percentage of this base we had done. And the basic strategy here, you can see there's a little hole next to the archer tower over there. So the plan was to have a slammer come in through that section, and then Edrags through the top left of the base, and go right through. But with the way the Edrags and their chain worked, we managed to take out so much. I was absolutely stoked for that. I also brought a few extra archers and minions. Anyway, we'll get into this now. And you can see here, so we also, with the slam, we had Electrone set up there to take out that sort of section. So started off there with a loon, which managed to draw the heat seeking, which was pretty key. And then I believe, dropped a few archers, minions, whatnot, and then started the Edrag funnel. It was just those two initial minions. And that over there. Then Edrags all through that section. Dump the slammer down, followed by the loons behind the Edrags. And then we kind of had two different attacks going at once here. So raged the Edrag loon section, and then rage cloned the Electron aspect of it as well. And in the end, there's two double drags in the clan castle, which worked out perfectly for this strategy. And the Edrag from inside the slammer kind of ended up joining somewhat with the others. And at this point in time, we're at 55%, and we're still doing pretty well. But the fact that it's reached 88% from this point, I was really, really happy with. Pretty key freeze there on that air defense. And just running through it again, nice little chain there to take that out. And at this point in time, it's just one Edrag on the left. The chains just work, and it manages to get heaps of things down. And obviously throughout this, you've seen I've been dropping minions and archers to clean up percent as well. That was why I brought them, to try and maximise that. Was never planning on a triple, never planned on getting this close. But actually, I got pretty damn close. Even with the heat seeking there, this is still going. And it is light as anything. But the Edrag is just the Edrag that could, It just went and went. Managed to take this out, even get that air defense. Part of me at this point was stupidly thinking, oh my god, maybe I can triple. Well, I was never going to triple it, let's be honest. But no heroes, absolutely stunned with that effort. So that was my favourite hit of all of these three, to be honest. But obviously it wasn't the most heroic. That goes down to Mr. Spackman 2.0. This hit and the next hit are effectively on the exact same base. Some very minor differences. The other base has a warden up where the storage is. And this is a little bit weaker. The other one was the number 3 in the war and a lot stronger. So we'll bring that one up in a second. But you can see here, 69% with the Town Hall 10. No heroes, mind you. No. Well, might have had the king, I can't remember. Anyway, with this type of a base, it's really, really easy for any Town Hall 10, maybe even a Town Hall 9, to hit the 2-star. The reason being is I use this strategy when I pushed as a Town Hall 10. You can introduce the babyloon strategy. And you'll see in the replay, I'm dumping baby drags on a lot of the external archer towers here, and they take them down. And then we have archer towers along the outside as well, some wizard towers, etc. You drop one baby dragon, then 2 loons, and after that, the entire outside of the base just loses all its anti-air ability. And you can just effectively snipe the whole surrounding percent. Because in this middle is where you have the clan castle. Don't lure it. You don't want to deal with that. You have the queen, warden, infernos, expos, air defense, everything. And I will bring this in. One thing I've decided with this raid I need to improve on is my spell usage. You'll see at the end of this, I have every spell to play with. Decided in future, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some, pause this quickly, I'm going to bring some bat spells and rage them and try and get extra percent somewhere else in the base. And I also used a power potion here because the you'll see in the next replay I forgot. The troop levels on this account are horrendous. But even on the next account, we still managed to get 2-star most heroic with bad troops against a basically max Town Hall 12. Purely because the layout is just shite. They need to improve this layout. It's just too easy to get a 2-star on. Maybe it's a good anti-3, but any decent war attack, there's so many, this base has been around long enough that people know how to beat it. So you see here, drop the loon, drop the baby drag, drop 2 loons, and in the end, the baby drag stays up and ends up doing some cleaning, and there's nothing nearby to deal with it. Very simple. This is such an effective strategy once you learn how to do it for pushing as well. Or it was when I did it. Maybe the meta there has changed, but I got to 59.90 effectively using this babyloon strategy to snipe external buildings and gain percent. So you can see here we've got archers around the outside, minions here and there, 35%, and I barely dropped anything. The warden, the eagle artillery doesn't really activate till well and truly into the raid until we've almost hit the 50% mark, purely because we don't drop that many troops. And I didn't properly deal with clearing up the defense in this bottom section. Somewhere along the way, I dropped too many baby drags on the wizard towers, but that wasn't a problem in the end, obviously, because I did have my king here, and obviously the slammer can take out things in its own right. And I brought a few drags as well, just to make sure we definitely had enough firepower to deal with what we needed to. And so that's the last almost part of the funnel there. Use the king on this archer tower down here, and then the slammer can basically just go right on through into the middle there. And this base, I've almost always seen it have Teslas and a tornado right near the center there. And you can see I'm dropping rage, haste, poison, earthquake, freeze, another haste, and then rage again. It's just complete waste. But the town hall went down before the slammer did, so those loons got to run away, and there's a tiny bit of a really petty sort of a CC lure anyway, so probably had ice golems or something to fill. And 69%, absolutely stoked. All right, now ready for that second attack. Technical issues frustrating me, so hopefully this all works out this time. But we'll quickly get into it purely because I don't want any Wi-Fi or any other issues to stuff up. Once again, most heroic attack. 47 versus number 3 in the war. But max Town Hall 12, exception to walls. We'll get straight into it. The base is very, very similar to the previous one. The warden, archer tower, and dark elixir storage are largely the only sort of key differences. And again, dropping the baby dragons on the outside, taking out those vulnerable archer towers. And next we have the baby dragons over here, taking out this section, which is slightly more difficult, I guess, due to the warden being there now as well. But I did forget to drop me a power potion this war. However, still, even despite only level 2 baby dragons, they're strong enough alongside the loons to get the job done on this base. So you really can do this quite easily, as long as you're smart with your troops, you identify the base properly, and you're very careful and patient with it. And that's one thing I did here. So I almost ran out of time basically with the replay, just painstakingly sniping with the archers and the minion to build up that percentage. And I will speed it up here because or else we're just going to sit here forever and ever. And you can see I'm just sort of trying to whittle away at it, get more down here and there. And the only section I have left at the end then is just these few defenses down here, which now that I have both heroes up, I'll use them to sort that out, and then the dragons and the slammer again for the town hall. And what is of course key with this replay is you snipe the percent first, you do your best to avoid setting off the town hall, setting off the eagle artillery, and don't deal with the queen or the clan castle. I mean, depending on the base, you're going to have to do any number of those things, but you just need a plan for it, and if you can, avoid it. Anyway, drop the heroes now, slammer there, dragons behind, just in case I needed extra firepower for whatever reason. And once again, obviously, the spell usage here was leaves much to be desired, and so I will try some bats under rage in future to get a few extra defenses elsewhere, purely because I only need, 5, if that, of my spell capacity to get this job done, and I've got all 11 in this one section. It's just not worth it. Anyway, that's basically that. 2-star Town Hall 10 versus the Town Hall 12, max base, weak troops. It's, in the end, very simple. Try it for yourself, see how you go. Anyway, thank you. We'll see you next time.